This program contains true stories of rescues. All of the 911 calls you will hear are real. Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct the events as they happened.
Use the police department.
This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
The motor vehicle accident.
Chesterfield Emergency Service.
They're in good hands here.
We begin on the evening of March 1st, 1990 in Omaha, Nebraska, as Colleen and Mike Campos and their 12-year-old son Clint were getting ready for bed.
It was about 3 years ago when he started having trouble. Right in the middle of a sentence, you could see him, his look on his face would change. He'd go, "I can't breathe." And that's when it all started. It's not always in the night, but his worst times are always at night because everything is slowed down and shut down. When the season was bad and the air was real dry, it was just about every night you could expect that he'd have the asthma attack. It always started with a cough. We'd both wake up, but whoever would wake up first would holler, "Clint, get up and get on your machine."
Get on the machine!
He'd have to get up and get his machine, which relaxes the airways and makes it easier for him to breathe. It had gotten so bad the last few months that we knew he had to be up quick when he went into his attacks. It was just going downhill is what it was doing. He was standing there trying to pull air in, but nothing would happen. That's when I went running into the bedroom to try to find the shots. He keeps epinephrine shots for an emergency.
When I came around the corner, he was getting ready to collapse. I put my head on his chest to hear his heart or to see if I could hear him breathe, even because he wasn't breathing. She couldn't find his shots. He was already turning blue. There was no breathing, no heartbeat, nothing. I thought I'm going to lose him.
The call came in to dispatcher Danette D'Amato at 11 p.m.
Emergency service. I need a rescue squad. My son is having an asthma attack. He's turning blue. How old is he? He's 12 years old. 12.
Volunteer paramedic Glenn Colsheen followed the ambulance toward the scene. When we continue,
Okay, ma'am, you're going to have to calm down so we can try to help him, okay? Okay. No CPR. CPR? Yes. No. Okay, does anybody there? No. He's 12 and he's having... Yes, he's turning blue. Okay. He's not breathing. He's not breathing at all? Do you know CPR? No, he's not breathing. He went totally out.
Sarpy County dispatchers are specially trained in the use of emergency medical instructional cards.
You're going to have to calm down so we can try to help him, okay? Okay. No CPR. CPR? Yes. No. Okay, does anybody there? No. Okay, where is he, laying on the floor? Yes. Is there a pillow under his head? No. Okay, make sure there's not. Make sure he's laying flat on his back. Yes, he's totally out. Okay, what I want you to do is... Ma'am, you're going to have to calm down, okay? I'm going to teach you mouth-to-mouth and CPR, okay? Okay. Mouth-to-mouth. Help is on the way.
I was starting to lose her. She was starting to get hysterical. And at that point, I think she knew that she had to calm down in order to help her boy.
Put your ear right next to his nose and make sure. Nose? Yeah, make sure for sure that he is not breathing.
We had already spent a good minute or so. We had to start breathing for him.
Ma'am? Yes? Are you instructing somebody else to do this? Yes, my husband. Okay, this is what I'm gonna tell you what to do. Okay, he's flat on his back. Yes. Doesn't have a pillow. No pillow. Okay, I want him to put his left hand under his head. His left hand under his head. Check and see if he's breathing. He's not. He's not. There's nothing. Okay, I'm going to tell you what to do. Okay. Tilt the head back. Tilt the head back. Lift up his airway. Pinch his nose. Okay. Completely cover his mouth. Completely cover the mouth. With his mouth. With your mouth. All right. Force 2 deep breaths of air into his lungs. 2 deep breaths. Okay. Okay, just like you're blowing up a balloon. Right, like and watch for his chest to rise. Get his chest to rise. All right. Is he breathing? He started breathing. Let go of his nose. He's foaming. He's foaming. He's foaming. Okay, okay. Turn him on his side a little bit. Turn him on his side. So he doesn't choke. Okay. Okay. Is he breathing? Yeah, he's moaning. Okay, good. He's not breathing good, but he's moaning. Okay, okay. Is he breathing? He is breathing. When he get up, they've got one coming. You've got to keep your head. All right. He's not breathing again? He's breathing at all. Okay, put him back on his back again. Back on his back and start again. You've got to keep oxygen in him, Mike. You have got to.
Mike was totally horrified. Just this terrible desperation. As time ticked on, just went from bad to worse.
Is he throwing up? Ma'am, tell me what's going on. Ma'am, he's choking. Ma'am, what's he doing? He's throwing up. There's something coming out. Okay, okay. Turn him on his side so he doesn't choke on it. Okay. If he can sweep it out of his mouth. Sweep it out of his mouth and get air in. Is he moaning now? I don't know. What is it, Mike? What's coming out of him? Something red. I don't know. Okay. Is he breathing? There's a funny noise coming out of him. Come in, Mike. She's helping us. Please.
I gave him probably 2 or 3 more deep breaths, and then I could feel his lips start to tremble. I thought it was his last breath.
Clint started to make this little noise. It sounded like it was coming from the center of him, but it sounded like it was 100 miles away. And that was personal. That was Clint. And then he started to take little breaths like that. And that was our first sign that he is still here.
Ma'am, he's breathing. Good. Well, just keep him like that. I'm going to stay on the phone with you. He's on his side. Should we keep him that way or should we keep blowing? No. If he's breathing, I don't want you to do any more mouth to mouth. Okay.
In case something else should develop, it's still important to stay calm.
I want you to tell me if there's any kind of change at all. All right. Turn on the porch light, Mike. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God.
Deputy Sheriff Bill Chizek was the first rescuer on the scene.
Okay, they're here. They're there? They're here. Okay, I'll let you go. Okay. Okay, bye. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Bye.
I hung up the phone, took a deep breath, stood up, and I said, oh my God.
Good job, Annette.
We just revived a 12-year-old boy who had stopped breathing.
124/90.
When paramedics arrived, Clint's breathing was still labored, but his vital signs were improving, and he had begun to regain consciousness.
I went over and stood with Mr. and Mrs. Campus. I said, both of you did a fantastic job. And Mrs. Campus said, well, it wasn't us, the emergency dispatcher. She was the one. She was great. She saved his life.
Clint was taken to the hospital where he was treated for a mild case of pneumonia and a collapsed lung resulting from the asthma attack. Since that night, Clint and his parents have become more aware of what to do to prevent severe attacks with the help of Dr. Manju Patni.
Asthma is a disease that can be fatal. The kids that have severe asthma should know that this can happen. He has to be able to recognize his symptoms when he's getting tight and whether he needs more attention. Parents should know their child. They should know the dangers. Plus, they need to know CPR. Very important.
So we're starting to work together on signals, what to look for, him being more vocal to tell us, you know, I'm having a little trouble today. That way we can start working on him right away as far as medication.
The Campos are grateful to the 911 dispatcher who was there when they needed help.
The operator, she was like team leader. We were only working with a few minutes, and that would have meant his life. Thank you is not enough.
The CPR classes, the whole family's getting involved in that. Life's valuable and it's precious, and, you know, You don't want to take nothing for granted.
He's starting to get into those argumentative, bullheaded teenage years. Thank God I've got this chance to watch him do his changes, to be obnoxious, you know, and then to be good, too, when he is.
Next,
I got a 31-year-old white male. He's been stabbed to the chest.
It's just the most unusual thing I've ever seen in the whole 18 years I've been a nurse. The pulsating knife, I don't think I'll ever forget it.
nearly 150,000 people in America will die this year of trauma, from gunshot wounds to car accidents. You're about to step into the world of the people who save our lives on a daily basis. Some of the scenes that you'll see are graphic and intense, but this is not a recreation. It's the nightly reality in one of America's busiest trauma centers.
Houston Fire and Ambulance, what is your emergency?
Ron, he's dying. My husband's dying. He stabbed himself.
Where did he stab himself?
Right in the heart.
He stabbed himself in the heart?
Yes, he's dying.
Is the knife still in him?
Yes.
Okay. Don't pull it out, all right? Yeah, we're on the way, man.
A distraught wife's 911 call for help sends an ambulance racing through the night streets. For critically injured people in Houston, the destination is almost always Ben Taub Trauma Center, where lives are measured in minutes.
58 to medical, sir. I need a town for a stabbing to the heart.
Ambulance 58, come up on D, doctor.
I got a 31-year-old white male. He's been stabbed to the chest one time with a butcher knife.
Do we have
no,
any...
he's got a knife in the chest and
Has he got a blood pressure?
I don't know about that. Okay.
Give me about a minute.
Yeah, now be careful not to dislodge the knife, son.
Within 21 minutes of his wife's call, the stabbing victim arrives at the trauma center.
We're going to put a chest tube in a central line, okay? Charles, you want to take him up, or you want me to do it? Okay. Don't dislodge the knife. Cut it. Cut the shirt.
Okay.
Cut the shirt. Cut the
clothes off. Sir, take it easy. Everything's going to be okay. Be careful now.
Don't
Okay.
dislodge.
Let's call up the OR and tell them we're coming up with this guy. Put a chest tube in him. Let's swallow. Just swallow.
Hold still. Hold still.
28-year-old Ron Miller is quickly prepped and rushed to surgery.
You're almost there, buddy.
Go.
He's got a good carotid pulse. Let's go.
The knife is acting as a cork. Pulling it out could cause Miller to bleed to death almost immediately.
Hang in there, bud. You're doing all right.
Hang in there. You're doing good.
What room?
Thoracic surgeon Dr. Bill Turner will be in charge of the delicate surgery.
O negative blood. Tell them to bring me O negative blood.
With a stab wound to the heart, you have to act immediately.
Do you have a knife, please?
Dr. Turner opens Miller's chest between the 4th and 5th ribs to see the damage and control the bleeding before removing the knife.
May I have the scissors?
They fear that the knife has critically damaged his heart or lungs.
Can you see this?
You just missed it? Because the knife is right to the side. He missed it. Oh my God! He missed it. Wow.
He missed everything major.
Somehow, this large knife had gone through this man's chest and had managed to miss all the major blood vessels of the lung and the heart itself. It had penetrated the wall of the left ventricle, maybe about ½ an inch, and then bounced out. To me, just looking at it, I didn't think that there was any way that this man could have had this type of injury and gotten away with that.
Although it looked very impressive, that he'll be fine. He'll go home probably in about 4 or 5 days.
It's just the most unusual thing I've ever seen in the whole 18 years I've been a nurse. With the pulsating knife, I don't think I'll ever forget it.
Houston Fire and Ambulance, what's your emergency?
A truck just ran into a tree out front of the apartments where I live.
There's a lady out there trying to help her get her baby out the windshield.
So I just undid the window shield, and the baby was alive, and she wanted me to get him out of there, and I said, okay, okay.
Hey, how is the baby, do you know? Well, it looks like it's knocked out. All right, we'll get somebody out there. Thank you.
Another call for help in the night. Ben Taub Trauma Center gets as many as 60 trauma patients a day. This time, it's a baby boy injured in a car accident with his family.
Look at that big guy. So we've got...
His pupils were dilated when we first got there, and we bagged him and started breathing a little bit of oxygen in him. They started to constrict. He's had a positive Babinski all the way in, but no response to pain whatsoever.
Are you allergic to any medicine?
The boy's 22-year-old mother, Aura Rojas, is treated for minor injuries in the shock room next door.
He's only 2 years old?
It's 20 months.
20 months, okay.
Okay, we got you taken care of.
I asked the mother, and I had a translator, and she said that the child was sitting on the lap without a seatbelt, and she was wearing her seatbelt. In the state of Texas, the rules for a seatbelt is to a child between 0 and 2 will be in a child's seat. We also found out that the father was over what the state considers to be intoxicated.
Within minutes of the boy's arrival, preliminary x-rays are taken, and neurosurgeon Dr. Ian Armstrong begins to examine him.
Has he been medicated at all?
No.
As far as we know.
Okay. Does he move?
No, he has not moved.
Does not move anything?
Since we got here.
How about breathing? Does he have any spontaneous respiration?
A few.
All these are close together and you see some wide spacing. We don't see any bony abnormalities, but we suspect there's some ligamentous damage. External trauma signs on him are minimal. He's got a small scratch in the forehead, so we don't anticipate finding anything, but we'll CT the head also. When we heard information from the field that the child was unresponsive and not moving, at that point we suspected it was due to head injury. When we examined the child, he was not only unresponsive, he was limp, and there was no muscle tone at all. And it was at that juncture that we suspected a neck injury.
They take the baby to get a CAT scan of his brain and neck.
The CT scan indicated that the bones were not fractured, but there was some abnormal positioning of the vertebrae. We realized the child really did have a serious neck injury. Paralysis was likely. Knowing some of the circumstances around the injury, the child had been in the front seat, no seat belt. That makes it particularly upsetting.
Five days after the stabbing incident and surgery, Ron Miller is still in the surgery ward, but he'll be going home tomorrow with his wife, Angela.
The doctor, he said that it was truly a miracle that my husband was alive, and he really didn't know how he pulled through it.
I still seen that knife going, bouncing. That's about all I can remember. All I can say is, I'm gonna start praying more.
Aura Rojas comes to visit her baby James, hoping his prognosis has improved.
How's he doing today? Seems to be doing okay? After observation, examining him daily, we found no improvement, no change. Cannot move his arms or legs and feels nothing below the neck. We felt that it would probably be permanent. He is going to be respirator dependent, bedridden. He will face recurrent infections, pneumonias, and his long-term outcome is grim.
Aura is only beginning to face what has happened to her child.
Mi niño sí está muy grave. Él está muy malo de la boca y del pescuezo.
You see a young, helpless child who has his life completely ruined in a matter of seconds. It takes its toll, particularly in light of the fact that a seatbelt or a child restraint could have prevented this sort of injury. But there are many instances where the outcome isn't as grim. And it's those few situations where you are successful in saving the child, that makes it all worthwhile.
2.5 weeks later, Ron Miller's recovery seems miraculously complete, but he refuses to explain who really stabbed him or why. He says only that it was payday. He went and got drunk, and that's when it started.
It's something that no one needs to know. It's a very long story, and I have no comment on that.
We're gonna make it.
Huh?
We're gonna make it.
I'm just thankful. Every day I wake up, I feel better and better. I'm living proof. If it wasn't for my doctors and my wife praying for me, I'd be dead. Eat your pizza?
Yeah.
And I'm one of the ones that did make it. And I'm very happy.
We all should take first aid and CPR courses every year. By learning basic life-saving techniques, we might be able to save the life of someone we love. This series is dedicated to all the men and women who answer our calls for help and are there when we need them most. I'm William Shatner. Join us again next week for more true stories on Rescue 911.
Step out of the car, please.